Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So recently I have rewatched the Narnia movies. So I rewatched The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I was like a huge fan of that series and like of Narnia, and I was a huge fan of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe movie back in like grade 3 when it came out. I had like a little book that had like so many drawings and like it was a little storybook, but there's a lot of like images from the movie, and I remember I loved the movie. So I decided to rewatch The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe because this is my favorite movie, it's my favorite series, and I was like, why not? I haven't seen it in so many years, since like grade 3. And I also watched Prince Caspian, and well, I rewatched that one. I saw that one before, and I saw the Voyage of the Dawn Treader for the first time. I hadn't seen it, and I really wish that they would have made more Narnia movies. At the time of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, it was so popular, and I wish they would have made more movies while the actors and actresses were young, rather than like waiting a long period of time and then now the actors are too old to fit the roles. So I wish they would have made like the other books in the series, but oh well, at least we got 3 movies out of it. So I'm gonna talk about all 3 movies and like my thoughts on each movie, and I'm gonna start with The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe first. So at the beginning of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, I was wondering why the mom was staying in the war while she was sending her children off to live with like this professor, and I'm wondering who the professor is. Like, they didn't really go into detail who he is to the family. They just said he's a professor, and I was wondering about that. And I just want to say that Lucy was so small in this movie. She's so cute, like she's really young in this movie, and they really made like all the characters that are like more like fantasy characters, like centaurs and like all sorts of like those characters. They really like did the makeup and they did the costumes perfectly. Like Mr. Tumnus looks so cool. I also really like the music in this movie, and I think C.S. Lewis was Christian because he goes off like the daughters of Eve and the son of Adam. I also thought like how the Ice Queen can make anything, like how she made the Turkish delight for Edmund is very cool. Like she just made it, and her castle in the movie is so well done, and the beavers in this movie are so cute. I also got scared of the Ice Queen, and when I saw that Mr. Tumnus was like in the ice castle with Edmund, I was shocked. And also I was like, why is Edmund so annoying? Like, why does he have to go back to the Ice Queen and betray everybody else? I think that he was meant to represent Judas in the Bible, like how he betrays everybody else. And I think that the lion is supposed to be Jesus. I think that Aslan is meant to be Jesus in this movie because he sacrificed himself and then he died and then he rose again, just like Jesus Christ. And I also think the professor was Santa Claus in Narnia, and the beavers like wearing the armor was so cute. And it was expected that Edmund like would not learn the first time and would not listen to Peter, so when they were in battle he didn't listen, and of course he got injured. And lastly, about this movie The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, I just want to say that I liked how at the end Mr. Tumnus, their friend, well Lucy's, I liked how he gave all of them their crowns. Okay, let's move on to Prince Caspian. So the dwarves in the woods and throughout this movie reminded me of Lord of the Rings. I felt so bad for the Narnians left behind when the gates closed. The Talmarines are really greedy. I get Prince Caspian for wanting to kill his uncle, but like, damn! And the badgers are super adorable, just like the beavers. I did not expect the Ice Queen to return in this film, but I was glad that Edmund got to kill her after all she did. And I liked how Peter let Caspian have the last say-so on his uncle, and it was like so funny how the Talmarines didn't have the uncle's back, like I knew it. And I feel like Lucy being able to see Aslan shows the innocence in children. It was also cool when the trees started to fight also. And I was wondering like what kept Aslan away, and the water at the end definitely resembled Jesus. And I know that the actors and actresses were getting older, but I didn't like how Susan and Peter were moving on from Narnia. Okay, and lastly, let's move on to the Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I found Eustace to be such a character, and I really like the ship scene. I just like having scenes with water in it because I love water so much. And it was like hilarious when the one-footed monsters were acting so tough while they were invisible. But when they were visible, they were like so cowardly. And I was annoyed at Edmund, but it was kind of to be expected that he would be greedy at the gold pool like of water. And lastly, I just want to say that it was so funny how Eustace became a dragon, and then he said that he was like, I think he wrote in like fire that like, I'm Eustace. And yeah, those are my thoughts on the Narnia Chronicles movies, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, and The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I heard that they're gonna make a Netflix like movies or like TV series out of this, but they're not going to use the actors, so it's going to be different. I don't know if I would watch it because I'm so accustomed to the characters and like the actresses that play them, so I'm not sure, but I do love anything Narnia. But yeah, the Chronicles of Narnia is definitely my favorite movies of all time, specifically The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. That's my favorite movie of all time. So this is definitely my favorite Narnia drawing. I am thinking about getting like her tattooed on me sometime in the future, and I just love the bowls. They're so cute, and even like this guy holding the flame, so cute. And then I drew the Ice Queen in the carriage with Edmund, and I drew the scene of Lucy going to Mr. Tumnus's and them like chilling by the fire. And then from Prince Caspian, the movie, I drew Lucy, Peter, Prince Caspian, and Susan. And as mentioned before, I love how the centaurs look, so I drew one. And yeah, I love centaurs. I would definitely recommend watching these movies. They're really well done. Damn, this bag is new, and like 3/4 of the way is air and the rest is chips, so not really worth it. So yeah, go check out The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, and The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and read the books. And I will see you guys later.